5th meeting of the Board of Commissioners to order. Please. Please stand for a moment of silent prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any public comment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The public comment portion of our meeting provides residents and taxpayers of Butler County a reasonable opportunity to comment on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation that are or may be before the board prior to taking official action. Presentations must be limited to 3 minutes. The chairman asked me to remind everyone that no personal attacks on the character or reputation of county employees, department heads, or any official will be tolerated. Any speaker doing so may be ruled out of order by the chair. I'll call the names in the order that they appear on the sign-in sheet, and when you come to the podium, please state your name and your municipality of residence. Itzy Metzler.
From Slippery Rock, I'm Itzy Metzler, and please no interruptions. If Sunnyview goes, then start to trim the government center. Next month, Butler County is getting ready to sell one of its assets, Sunnyview Nursing Home, allegedly for at least $18.5 million, or at least according to my sources. From the very beginning, though, I've opposed the Sunnyview sale, but since the commissioners are in such a privatizing mood, let's also get rid of some other operations such as information technology. Did you know that the IT director makes a yearly salary of $97,000? He's the government center's highest paid employee other than in the judicial, and he only supervises 5 people. By subcontracting out computer maintenance, the county could easily save more than $500,000 annually, and we'd probably get more bangs for our bucks anyway with the private sector. By the way, have you seen the county website lately? It hasn't had a facelift in years. Oh, but it gets better. Other county departments are quite employee-laden. For example, facilities and operation. It has 24 full-time workers and is divided into 2 crews. A construction crew that has 2 carpenters, 2 carpenters helpers, 2 painters, 3 maintenance repair persons, 1 electrician, 1 maintenance clerk, and a director. And the other crew is the maintenance with 13 full-time custodians, including payroll and benefits. Facility and operation costs the county more than $1.5 million a year, and it's primarily to take care of 2 buildings. The county could easily cut this staff in half and save more than $750,000 annually. If you can sell Sunnyview, you can cut facilities and operations in half. So commissioners, don't be hypocrites. Look to trim excess staff in your employee-bloated government center, all as cost-saving measures. And finally, during the February 19th commissioner meetings, Jim Eckstein, you made insulting remarks that you need to apologize for. You referred to your peers, the GOP commissioners, as Democrats and to yourself as Republican. Jim, you have some nerve to throw the Democratic Party under the bus for self-serving re-election purposes. Next time, why don't you consider running in the Republican primary in the party you once belonged to? I'm sure the GOP will take you back with open arms. Hey, maybe even throw you a welcome back fiesta. Eckstein, your incessant jabberwocking has showed your true colors. I'm Itzy Metzler, and humbly I thank you.
I'd like to make a comment to that. I don't do political stuff from up here, so that's, I wouldn't comment about that anyway, okay? But I want to say this. I must say this unequivocally. I've had more people come up and say, our IT person, Bob Moyer, I could hug him right now. He has done a fantastic job. He is one of our #1 employees. He has a background that's he excels at doing his job. I don't think I ever had the IT whole department. They do very technological things. Bob Moyer's hired good people to do that with servers. He does a lot of it in-house. And Bob Moyer, I think he was in Armco before he came here. I'm going to be a sad, sad day for me when the county, he retires and they have to replace Bob Moyer. So anybody that speaks up here against Bob Moyer and our terrific IT department, I haven't had it. Well, one complaint as commissioner for our IT department. Okay, well, there is one. He just came. Sorry about that. I apologize. Thank you very much.
This is one of the times, and I agree with Commissioner Eckstein. We certainly have a wonderful IT department. We certainly have a wonderful facilities and operations crew. And without somebody coming in here and doing a study, a time study, in every moment of their day, I don't see how anyone can make statements like were just made. We have electricians, we have carpenters, but you'll find the electrician playing carpeting. You'll find the carpenters helping with electricians. Our crew works very good together. They do whatever needs done. And there's lots needs done. And there's not just two buildings. There's the jail, there's this building, there's the old courthouse, and there's many buildings up at Sunnyview complex that they take care of. Anyone else? Amy?
Yes, Peggy Abersol.
Good morning, Peggy Abersol, Middlesex Township. This weekend I heard there'll be a break in the weather. To help with some of your cabin fever, Historic Harmony will be holding a quilt show on Saturday, March 8th, and Sunday, March 9th in Stewart Hall. Saturday hours will be 9 to 4, and Sunday hours will be 11 to 4. Admission is $5, and all the proceeds will benefit the museum. There will be a special section for display of the coverlets that go back and were made in the 1840s to the 1860s. Sounds like it'd be pretty fun if you want to get out. In a few more weeks, spring will arrive, despite what Groundhog Phil said. With the arrival of spring, it's also the running of the sap for maple syrup. Mark your calendars for March 23rd at 2 p.m. at the Jennings Environmental Educational Center for an educational and fun afternoon. The program is free, and no registration is required, but be prompt to get a seat. For more information, you can call 724-794-6011. Also, when you think of spring, planting comes to mind. The Butler Conservation District will have its seedling sale again this year. Seedling order forms are available at the Conservation District office, and the last date to order is March 28th. There are many varieties to choose from, and all seedlings are bare root. If you need an order form and have email, I can assist in getting an order form to you. I can be reached by email at peggy.abersol@co.butler.pa.us. I'm also on the website under the Commissioner's Eckstein's name, or by phone at 724-284-5102. Keep thinking spring, the warm weather has to show up soon. Thank you.
James Eckstein.
Commissioners, I did my report today. I've got a new book here. It's called Keystone Corruption by Brad Bumstead. I bought it for research into today's report. He's a reporter for the Tribune Review. He's an award-winning reporter. I bought the book to do background for research into the nonprofit organization using public taxpayers' money with no oversight, and how this relates to the recent developments in Butler County tourism, abandoning almost all of its second-party oversights 2 weeks ago. Here's what the former legislator Mike Veon did through Beaver Initiative for Growth for about 10 years with little or no oversight. As a powerful House leader, Mike Veon obtained over 10 million in state grants for BIG in its 10 years of operation. Butler County tourism nests about $1.2 million per year from a 3% county bed tax, similar size of nonprofit. Veon hired his good friend and state senator Jared A. LaValliere wife to run the nonprofit at $122,000 per year, while paying the employees at BIG peanuts with no benefits. $122,000 a year for his wife. Mike Veon and BIG in the House cost also got Beon's own brother a job at $160,000 per year by funneling money through a consulting firm to the tune of over $2 million over 3 years at the agency. Let's not leave out Biggs Law Firm. They receive $5,000 a month retainer for a small nonprofit. And just by coincidence, a partner in that firm happened to be Mike Beon's chief of staff. Last but not least was Mike Manzig, a powerful Democrat staffer who was given office and apartment space by Big way out of their Beaver district to hide his mistress. Now, how does this relate to Butler County tourism? Government money to the tune of over $1 million per year, very lax oversight for a nonprofit tourism bureau, passes even more lax oversight. More lax oversight. With all this corruption going on, we need lax oversight. No right to know request by the public or media, so our media cannot, the Tribune, Review, and the Butler Eagle can't have right to know request. It's unconscionable. Versus corruption. Commissioners, they go take trips, tourism takes trips to China, San Francisco, D.C., Minneapolis. You know, I asked to review this under the People's Right to Know request last year. He had a guard there with him. Jack was there, a guard, a cameraed me, and they didn't trust the county commissioner. I don't know what he thought I was going to do, but I got there by the People's Right to Know request. Last but not least, Jack wants no second signature on checks for $5,000 or $10,000. Now, let's get real. The commissioners...
That's time.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Amy. We have minutes from our February 14th and our February 19th meeting. Is there a motion to approve these minutes? Is there a second? I will second it. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Under old business, yes, sir. We do have one item. We're asking for your adoption of Resolution 2014-06 to enter into a master equipment lease purchase agreement with PNC Equipment Finance for the acquisition of a 2013 International dump truck for the bridge crew. This will be at a rate of 3.95% for a term not to exceed 16 months. We ask your approval.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? I will second it. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Proclamations.
Yes, sir, we do have one today. This is a proclamation in recognition of American Red Cross Month 2014. Whereas we would like to remember those who help all of us here in Butler County by giving their time to help their neighbors and thank our heroes, our volunteers, blood donors, class takers, and financial supporters who help us assist those in need. And whereas in Butler County, the Red Cross works tirelessly through its employees and volunteers to help when disaster strikes, when someone needs life-saving blood or the comfort of a helping hand. It provides 24-hour support to members of the military, veterans, and their families, and provides training in CPR, aquatic safety, and first aid. And whereas Butler County depends on the American Red Cross, which relies on donations of time, money, and blood donations to fulfill its humanitarian mission. Despite these challenging economic times, the American Red Cross continues to offer help and comfort to those in need. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Butler County Board of Commissioners that we do hereby proclaim March 2014 as American Red Cross Month. We encourage all Americans to support this organization and its noble humanitarian mission. In witness whereof, we have set our hand this 5th day of March in the year of our Lord, 2014, in the County of Butler. William L. McCarrier, Chairman, A. Dale Pinkerton, Vice Chairman, and James Eckstein, Secretary. And here to accept the proclamation are individuals from the American Red Cross chapter in Butler County.
Thank you so much for what you do.
And thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Here's your proclamation. Both of you would like to say something, please step to the podium.
Thank you very much for this day. I just want to keep it very short and simple. We are 94% volunteer based, 6% paid staff. We are mandated by Congress to help in this situation. So I just wanted to put those figures out of the 94%. That means a lot. And without our volunteers, we could not do this.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Your chapter in Butler County, where does most of your funding come from?
From our individual volunteer, excuse me. Do you want to help me out with this?
Yeah, most of the money that's raised is a national organization, so we do contribute to national events. We do raise money through local donations, and our local donations really fund our local activities.
That's where I was coming from.
Yes.
You need local donations.
That's correct, yes.
Everybody in Butler County should look to the Red Cross as a place where they could make a donation.
That's absolutely true, because the Red Cross, we have a mission to provide disaster services plus support for military. There is no government funding, but there is a government mandate, and we do require the support of the citizenry to fund us. And then, as Cindy said, the volunteers actually do the work. So it's fewer volunteers from the funding to the actual work being done. I think it's a very admirable thing.
So we urge everybody in Butler County who's watching this to make a donation to the Red Cross and help these fine people do their work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. We agreed twice in the same meeting. Or was that the December board? Anyway, we're the same day. Twice the same day. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a...
Moving on to new business. The first item is Human Services Area Agency on Aging, and Beth Harrell is here to present.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Beth.
Two items for your consideration this morning. The first is we were requesting the board's approval to amend the current contract between the Area Agency on Aging and Life Sets Incorporated for their adult day services. The amendment is for a rate reduction for the bath services provided to our adult daycare consumers. The contract is funded through options, funding, and no county dollars is involved. The contract term is January 1st, 2014 to June 30th, 2014, and the rate adjustment for full day with bath is $60.33, and a half day with the bath is $38.16.
Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you. The second item we are requesting the board's approval is for a contract between the Area Agency on Aging and the Centers for Community Resources for cross-training services between the Butler Aging staff and the intellectual disability staff here at the county. Expenses will not exceed $2,000, and the contract term is between March 5th, 2014 and June 30th, 2014. And this is paid for from a grant that we applied for through the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Department of Public Welfare.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
Next, under Human Services, Community Action and Development, Janine Kennedy was not able to make the meeting today, so she's asked me to present this on her behalf. We're asking to ratify the submission of the Community Services Block Grant Contract Master Agreement to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. The term of the contract is January 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2016. DCED will allocate funding to this contract on a quarterly basis through a funding release form. Butler County's first quarter allocation for 2014 is $67,500. We ask your approval.
We have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Next, under Parks and Recreation, Gary Pinkerton.
Morning, Gary.
Morning, Commissioner. On Monday, as the board is aware, we opened bids for the development of a restroom facility at Alameda Park that we continue to refer to as the new construction area. The funding for the project, part of it is provided by a grant by DCNR in the amount of $125,000, locally matched by the county from their landfill closure fund that has been allocated to the department, I guess 6 or 7 years ago. We've been able just to continue extending that money over and over again because we're able to use in-kind services, so that's why that money still exists. We received 9 bids. One of the bids we have returned. The bids had to be received in the controller's office by 4 o'clock last Friday. The one that we have returned was not received until approximately 4:30, so that has been returned to the bid unopened. The results of the bids are, just for a quick review, there is actually an A and B part of the bid. A is the price for the building as originally designed. B is the price of the building with the removal of one of the composting tanks initially, which would result in 2 of the restrooms units being closed until the county would have additional money to install that unit at a later date, just so that we're taking a look at trying to keep within what our budget was. The first company is Bobbin Construction out of West Sunbury. Their Part A bid was $272,800. B was $260,300. CVF Contracting was Sligo, $307,941. B was $296,530. Combine Construction of Sharon, $454,346. B was $442,000. Delcon of Brookville, Ohio, $308,000. B was $300,900. Gemco of New Wilmington, Pennsylvania, $342,342. B was $328,882. Salmon Construction of Rose City, $310,000 and $300,000. Sabansky Construction of Cannonsburg, $377,264. B was $368,964. Yule Construction, Allison Park, $323,900. B was $309,900. Those are the results of opening the bids on Monday. At this time, I'd like to request that the board would table awarding these bids so that we could further review the bids that have been received by the county and also have them reviewed by our engineer for the project.
And we have a motion to table this, and do you have a date when you'll be ready for the next meeting?
I'm really hoping to be ready next meeting.
All right.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion to table this till the next meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor say
Can
aye.
I just say
Yes,
something?
go ahead.
I just want to make the public aware, this is a lot for a restroom. There's 2, we asked this question at Monday's meeting. There's 2 storage facilities we need for people utilizing the park for summer programs. So it's not just a restroom. And don't worry, it seemed like a lot of money. The other 2 commissioners thought this too. I know Bill did. You know, so I'd just like to say that there's 2 storage rooms on that. And then we also have to go green. Oh, we want to go green, but they are more likely to award the grants if we go green and you don't have a sewage tap-in fee on the bathroom and you don't have water usage for this flush sewage. So that is good, not a bad thing, and we had to pay extra for that. It cost us more to get a green bathroom. And then we're Parks and Recreation, and the state's giving us how much money again, Gary?
$125,000.
$125,000. So when you see that, and the fact that we get and that's what they, not demand, but that's what they prefer for you to get the grant. So I just want to make that public that Gary explained that to us. And the last thing I wanted to ask you, Gary, is can you get somehow with commissioners, we don't want to, which version were you at? I'm not fully, to vote on it next time. I don't know which version is which or what's the cost.
Yeah, well, very honestly, the version A is the one that is completely constructed and will be a completely finished building. B, the building would be completed. The only thing that we would not have is one of the composting tanks that if the commissioners would want to select B, and then that tank could be installed at a later date. It would just result in 2 of the restrooms not being able to, 2 of the facilities not being able to be used until that tank was installed.
So
Like-
it's far better to do it.
All right now.
Yes.
Right, and the legacy money, or maybe we can talk about maybe earmarking some legacy money for this. That's exactly what I thought, what Bill and Dale.
And if you wait till later on, it's gonna cost more.
Right, so maybe we can get some extra money from legacy funds or something.
All right, we have a motion and a second to table this until our next meeting. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Next, under Planning Commission, CDBG program, Wendy Leslie.
Good morning,
Hi,
Commissioners.
Wendy.
On Monday, March 3rd, at the agenda setting meeting, we opened 7 requests for proposals received for engineering services for the county's community development block grant program. All 7 proposals were received into our county controller's office before the deadline of February 28, 2014 by 2 p.m. All 7 proposals were reviewed by 3 separate people at 3 separate times and evaluated according to the evaluation sheet set forth in the request for proposals. After tabulating scores, which consider all aspects of the proposal, Widmer Engineering of Beaver Falls scored the most points out of a total of 300. That was a 100 total possible per review. Comparing compensation rates with the 3 top scoring proposals, we found Widmer's rates to be in most areas lower than the other 2 scoring proposals. In fact, I went back and pulled out the rates that they gave us back in 2008, and they submitted the same rates they gave us over 5 years ago. They've added a couple different new categories to the rate sheet, but I found that pretty amazing that they were able to keep the rates at that same price. We are asking your approval to award the engineering contract for the County of Butler's CDBG program to Widmer Engineering Incorporated of Beaver Falls for a period of 3 years. That would encumber 2014, 15, and 16. All engineering funds are paid for through the CDBG program, and there are no county dollars involved. We're asking for your approval.
I'll make the motion.
Somebody second it?
I'll second that. And then
Discussion?
okay, I have,
Widmer has been with us for many years and has done a good job, according to Dave Johnson. And I think it's great that they have held their rates and really done a master's job at giving us the new bid. And they have been a pleasure to work with, so thank you.
yeah, could you please tell the public who the 3 employees are and what their title are that reviewed this, just so they know?
Sure. I was one of them. I'm the CDBG coordinator for the County of Butler, and on behalf of 2 of the entitlements, my name is Wendy Leslie. Also, we had Cheryl Kelly, who is our waste management and recycling coordinator. She reviewed these. She used to be a CDBG consultant for Slippery Rock Township. She's very familiar with the program and also the requirements of the program and what engineers are required to do. And we also had Joel McKay, who is our civil engineer technician, very familiar with engineering and what engineering encumbers. He is also one of the reviewers.
Okay, thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries.
Thank you.
You, Wendy.
Under Commissioners, our first item, we have actions related to a refunding of the county's Series 2004 general obligation bonds. First item is we're asking your authorization for the Chief of the County Solicitor to work with the financial advisor and bond counsel to structure, market, and issue 2014 bonds, provided that the refunding can achieve net present value debt service savings of 3% at minimum, with final approval to require formal board action.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Just to inform the public, this is approximately I'd like to tell the public this, it's $1.2 million at the 3% level, and we're hoping to do better than that, but we have to set a minimum level by law. And the other thing I want people to know is, this is the soonest we've been allowed to do this, because the SEC only lets you do this every so often, and this was utilized. Unfortunately, it was utilized by a prior board. You're only allowed to do it once in 10 years, I believe, and it was utilized a year after, before the prison was ever built, the year afterwards. So unfortunately, we couldn't do it until now, which really disappointed us. But I just wanted to let the public know this is as soon as we could do this.
And as Jim said, the minimum savings would be $1.2 million. The max, if interest rates remain the same as they are today, I believe they told us it was $2.1 million that we would save. So
And that is net, right, Bill?
that is.
Net, okay.
Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you. The second item is we're asking your authorization of Dinsmore and Scholl as our bond counsel to take such actions as may be required to prepare the proceeding for approval. This is the 2014 bonds, as required by the Local Government Unit Debt Act, including the publishing of required notices. We ask your authorization.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Discussion on that? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you. We're asking your approval of the 2014 lease with the Historical Society for 23 parking spaces at $40 per space per month. The term of the lease is April 1st, 2014 through March 31st, 2015, and this is for various county vehicles that are parked in that lot for the
These are all
departments.
All county-owned vehicles, correct?
Yes, sir.
We're not providing parking at that rate for any employees on the vehicles.
No, sir.
Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And I'd just like to say this, Bill, did find out they can't held the price, right?
They held the price.
It's very close to our building, saves employees tons. I'm very appreciative that they held the price as a historic society. We appreciate that, okay?
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? The motion carries.
And our last item, we're asking your approval to renew the agreement with Rollin Inc. for investment consulting and advisory services related to the county's pension plan, as recommended by the retirement board.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
I would like to say that this contract is less than the previous amount due to a lot of hard work by our controller and also by our treasurer. We researched this contract and then with Baxter Rollin, and we're able to get him to reduce the price. Thank you. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Sorry about that.
Motion to approve the budgetary transfers.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the new hires?
So moved.
Is there a second? I will second it. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the travel requests?
I'll make, no, go ahead. I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the requisitions?
So moved.
Is there a second? I will second it. Those in favor say aye.
I'd like to say this about that. I was on vacation 2 days, and I didn't get a chance to, I took 2 days on vacation, and I apologize. I didn't have a chance to look at that, so I'm just going to vote no, because I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. A motion to approve the check register.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Conference time with the media. Tom, you can be first this time.
Well, thank you. Can anyone speak on the salary study? Did the IT director fall outside that range, the recommended range?
He falls in the recommended range. I think he's in the 1, 2, 3. I think he's right between 2 and 3. I think he is definitely not over. I can't say exactly, Tom. We can look that up for you.
Maybe Lori can address that.
He was in the range, okay.
Yeah, and he's about in the middle between the second and third level.
And can anyone address, during public comment, stating that the negotiated price for Sunnyview is $18.5 million?
No, that's...
No comment.
There's no comment on that. Yeah. We're still negotiating. There's a lot of, probably 100 things that have to be negotiated.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Kayla?
Another question for Commissioner Eckstein. Do you plan on using the public comment period to speak at every meeting to make up for the time that you don't have due to the elimination of the report period?
Absolutely. It won't make up for it because they've cut me to 3 minutes, but I cherish our freedom of speech, and I'm absolutely going to do it every time. I wish I would have had a little more time to prepare, but I had 2 days off, so I'll do better the next time. But I'm going to try to pick an issue that really concerns me.
Commissioner McCary, do you see any problem with him speaking during that time?
No. It's with members of the public who are taxpayers, real estate taxpayers, or residents of the county, and he certainly falls into that category.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
Okay.
Uh,